incredible. That's the exhaust.
What's going on, y'all? You thought I forgot about this, didn't you? I have not posted a video in like 2 weeks. The last video that I did was with my wife, and y'all blew it up. It had like twice as many views as the normal ones that are with just me, which is probably gonna hurt my feelings because this one's gonna get like half as much as that last one. But check this out. Made it happen. F250, 6.7 liter, turbo diesel. Big time. This whole thing here is just one massive turbo, and then underneath it is a massive, massive engine. It's about 450 horsepower and 900 foot-pounds of torque. It is also massive inside. I don't know if you know this, but my wife and I are both 6'3", 6'4", whatever. We are going to have 4 6-foot-plus daughters, and they are growing like weeds. My oldest will be 10 in July, and she's already like 5'2", 5'3", something like that. It's ridiculous. I think Joanna was 6'3" by the time she was 13. So I had to go ahead and like get rid of the sedan, get something big, get something that could haul toys. We're looking into travel trailers, doing some of that type of stuff to try to make memories as a family, you know, go have fun. We like state parks, we like being outside. That's kind of why we live in this area where, you know, everything's kind of green. So, which also reminds me, it was like 30 degrees in Boston this morning, and it's 82 here in Dallas. So God bless Texas. This is crazy. The 360 cam, check this out. So you just hit this little button right here. You get this stitched together 360-degree view around the truck. There's cameras just off the nose of the truck to give you that view out front. And then there's a wide angle camera that's actually just under the edge of the mirror there that gives you this whole side there. And then obviously the camera off the back. But seriously, this is crazy. Look at this. All right, rest of the video is gonna be an update on the Goblin so y'all can see where that's at. Oh, yes. All right, so here's the situation. It's pretty much down to the frame. Got the engine on the ground. I'll show you a little bit more about that in a second. Pretty much everything is out from the inside. Got the dash pulled out. You can actually see right through the firewall. There were hoses and wires and stuff in there that we had to go through and take out. I've got to get under here and take out the fuel tank. But other than that, this is about to be done. One of the big things I want to do this weekend is get this frame out, because in about 1 week, they're going to have my frame ready. I can go and pick it up. And then the goal there, I got to get this all cleaned out. But the goal there is to have the frame in here with all the stuff, the stage 1 kit stuff, just to kind of get the engine installed and running and all that. That'll all happen in there, so that way Joanna can park here and I can park my truck in here. So there's the dash. This is one of the things that Luke and I are going to work on. There's it's upside down if you can't tell what's going on here. These are actually the foot pedals, and that's the hole through the firewall. The gauge cluster is right there. And I already took out the steering column. That's right here. That's what's going on there. As far as the engine goes, thank you, Rob Diltz, for letting me borrow your buddy's engine hoist. So pretty much all you have to do to drop an engine out of the frame is basically disconnect some of the major hoses. This is the brake booster hose. There is basically your radiator hoses, your AC lines. This is some air intake stuff. You have to obviously disconnect the intercooler and the radiator. Some of the other just various small wiring and whatnot. One of the most difficult things here was disconnecting the transmission cables, basically the shifter cables, which was dang near impossible. It's got this little ball joint under here, and so that's what connects. So it actually goes back in there, and then if I take you through the firewall, they go right there. Well, they're up in the air right now, but they were connected to the shifter right there. And so basically every time you're shifting gears, you're literally just pulling on this cable, which comes right through here. And then this is the transmission, and you're shifting gears. So that's what it does. But that was very difficult to get off. So I had to actually drop the engine, and then I just put a little screwdriver up under here and popped the ball and socket thing out. Other than that, you just disconnect the exhaust system as well. You have to obviously disconnect the fuse box and the computer system and all that kind of fun stuff. But there is the turbo. The way that this is going to be oriented in the new car, in the kit car with the new frame, is so you got the engine here in front of the driver's seat. What's going to happen is the engine will actually be right behind me. So the new frame will be, since it's a mid-engine or rear engine. It's called a mid-engine, but it's behind me and it's over the rear axle. It'll be sitting right here behind me. And then you saw the exhaust, right? The exhaust will go right out the back. And then we'll just drop it in the back end of the frame. And then obviously from there, that's how it becomes a rear wheel drive car versus this being a front wheel drive car. And that's it, 325 horsepower at the wheels on a 1,400 pound frame. So that's the plan. Whenever Luke gets here, we're gonna eat some barbecue and then we're gonna start on step 7 and 8. And then we're skipping the wiring harness piece. We're not gonna work on that. The guys at DF Kit Car are going to do that for me, which is super awesome because they can do that in their sleep and I don't wanna mess it up. After that, we're gonna clean and prep and set up all the parts so that way it's ready to receive the chassis and get started on the stage 1. So that's what's up, y'all. I ask him to come help me, he just hits things with a hammer. Did that break the board? I think it did.
Oh, no, it broke the trolley.
Oh.
See if you can pull it out.
And then what?
And then we'll
just sit on the ground?
Yeah, just sit on the ground for now.
A welder?
Yeah.
Bro, like before I started this, I had a screwdriver and a hammer.
Okay. So tomorrow we'll go buy one and some steel. I'll remake that.
Make another one there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, come on. Lift it up.
Oh,
there you go. We just need Lydia on it.
that's right.
Nice.
This is not what to grab.
1, 2, 3, go.
All right, when you're ready.
We're going?
Yeah. Go.
Okay. No, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, that's okay.
Woo! So I pretty much got everything disassembled. That's the wiring harness. Basically all the wiring in the car is there. I'm gonna get that to DF Kit Car. They're gonna redo it all. The front subframe, all these extra components. Never mind this stuff, I'm gonna sell those things. But I got all my bolts lined up here. These are just some miscellaneous sized bolts. Got my 13, 10, and 7mm bolts, which is the majority of the stuff that's in the vehicle. And then all the various parts and components. That's the battery just sitting on a little tender right there. And the brake, master cylinder, some other various pieces and components that I need. And then the engine is hiding. Whoa, engine's hiding up under here. The next update on the car build is going to be me going to pick up the frame and just beginning construction. So super excited about this. It's really coming together. And my goal for completing this was by August, like football season is when I wanted to have this done because I spend a lot of Saturdays doing this and Saturdays are for football.
We have a camp out sometime.
What are you guys doing?
We're just sleeping. We're just sleeping.